Welcome back. This is Mike Vitagliano, the Startup Evangelist, and thanks for stopping by episode 8. I felt pretty good after finishing episode 7, so I thought I'd jump right into episode 8 and describe what happens when a public company with massive resources and intellectual property decides that they want to disrupt a market. So let's jump right into the discussion. The company in question is Tesla, and we talked about half of their disruption yesterday when I describe the impact Tesla will have with their robotaxi on the ride-sharing market, specifically Uber and Lyft. The robotaxi will eliminate three significant costs. One is the driver, and therefore the driver payments, and it will allow Tesla to cost reduce the car by eliminating steering wheels and all of the necessary technology that a human requires to drive a car, gas pedals, brake pedals, etc. So what else are they going to disrupt? In 2026, Tesla aspires to build thousands of robotaxis and plans to ramp to millions per year. What is that going to do to all of the existing car manufacturers out there? So let's just talk about some of the basic financial aspects of car manufacturing. The average new car today costs $50,000 and it typically has a 3 to 10% profit margin for the manufacturer. The manufacturers don't break out profitability on individual models because they have some very expensive models and very inexpensive models as it may be. And so they just average it all together. And the typical car manufacturer makes about $5,000 per year on the sales price of that car. 50,000 in revenue, the buyer of the car goes away for some number of years. It could be, as short as a couple of years, or it could be, if it was a lease car, or it could be, somebody might drive the car for 10, 12, 15 years. But the manufacturer has only made $5,000 during that time. Now let's assume Tesla has a robotaxi. And I did some Googling and I found out that the average weekly revenue of a rideshare driver is about $1,000 a week. So with a robotaxi, Tesla's going to make $52,000 over the course of 1 year, about the same as the revenue that a car manufacturer gets. However, Tesla still owns the car. Over 5 years, they're going to make $260,000 for that car because it's just going to stay in the fleet. And they can continue to add more and more vehicles to their robotaxi service. Uber allows a 15-year-old car on their network, so 15 years or less to be on their network. If you use that math, it's going to allow a 15-year useful life for a robotaxi to generate $780,000 for Tesla in revenue versus $50,000 for the traditional manufacturer. The numbers are so significantly different that it has to be causing uh, tremendous strategic challenges in the car manufacturers across the world. There's, if you think of the usefulness of ride sharing today and the fact that Tesla is completely vertically integrated, they build the car itself, they own the autonomous driving software, and they can develop the ride sharing software that an Uber or a Lyft currently has. The impact on two major industries, ride sharing with their 3 million driver um, employee base or subcontractor base, really, and then all of the employees within the traditional car manufacturers today on a global basis. Toyota in Japan, BMW and Volkswagen in Germany, Honda, and then General Motors and all of the US manufacturers. The impact potential is absolutely enormous. Now, whether this ever comes to bear or not, I don't know. And by the way, let me say up front, I do not own any stock in Tesla. I do not have any financial interest in Uber or Lyft. I don't have any relationship with Tesla. This is just me looking at disruption. And every time you see disruption occurring in the marketplace, these are the things that go through my mind. When it's done by a publicly traded company and it's done to this level, the impacts can be absolutely enormous. If I was Tesla and the way they're rolling out their test ride sharing services today, they're doing it in major cities. They're starting in Austin, Texas. Their primary competitor is a spinoff out of Google, a company called Waymo. Waymo has the ride sharing software and the autonomous driving software, but they do not make cars. And Waymo has been testing their vehicles in many of the major cities in the US, Phoenix, San Francisco, et cetera, and they're trying to expand into other cities as rapidly as possible. If the politicians allow Waymo to offer their ride sharing services in a city, when Tesla comes, there's nothing to stop Tesla from obtaining the same ride-sharing testing licenses that Waymo has already obtained. So you could see driverless cars in the hundreds of thousands across the United States in 2026 and ramping to the millions beyond that. People in these industries, whether it's ride sharing or the car manufacturers, traditional car manufacturers, should look at this and understand what this disruption can bring to the market. I will focus the majority of our ongoing conversations on what it means to be a startup entrepreneur and bring disruption. But I wanted to, share this one story that's popular in the press right now, and just go through some of the financial numbers, so that a new founder could really understand and take to heart what disruption really means. Thanks again. Please like the episode and subscribe to the network. Bye for now.